Hello, everyone. It is I, the Mandalorian, and today we are back with another episode of Tavern Talk. We are on Act 2, Starlight Sonata, Chapter 12. It takes 2 or 3. 10 of the Astral Moon. I remember at the end of the last episode that we were trying to solve a girlfriend problem, a relationship problem between Baya and her two friends. I think we're going to focus more on that while everyone else is on missions. Other than that, let's go ahead and continue. A new day. I wonder what it has in store for us. Oh, Millie. Oh, boy. It's a little early in the morning for me to do a high-pitched voice. Basil's best detective duo has returned. Welcome back, Millie and Malachite. John. I'm calling him Aura now. Because he's giving you migraines? No, because of the gloomy aura, of course. Well then, Melly. Aura, it's good to have you two back in town. I assume you were able to solve the mystery surrounding the missing familiars? Yes, with the help of my trusty assistant, I was able to figure it out. That's remarkable, I have to say. Good thing you went with her, Aura. It was a dangerous mission. Did you encounter a T-Rex? Of course not, but we were nearly burned alive. That's not what I have expected. You must always expect life to double-cross you. I'm glad you both made it back in one piece. But I am curious, what was the reason behind those vanishing familiars? Do I need to worry about Andu disappearing too? How about we tell you what happened in Zofar, but only in exchange for 2 free drinks. I can see you've learned a thing or two on your first big mission. Aura taught me how to be more cunning. Only the basics. No need to be so humble. You taught her well. What kind of drink would you like today, Melly? I want something... something that'll polish my investigative and deductive skills. A drink that'll make me even smarter than I am now. So my mysterious case like this one will never be unsolvable for me. Coming right up. I'm glad that they're back. Andu, don't leave me. So she wants sparkling nebula. You think I would remember these recipes by now, but I don't remember any of these recipes. I always have to have this so I can properly say that, hey, I used a recipe if your drink decides to be weird. Let's see if this will make your brain cells multiply. I need that drink. Thank you. Let me try. Oh, this is good. I can already feel it. I'm going to be completely unstoppable. Oh no. Oh yes. Initially I wanted to sit this one out, but I might actually need a drink now. It would be my pleasure if it means I get to hear your story. Also, I'm craving a short laugh. Why don't you share me one of your jokes with me? Right. We made a deal. Correct. So, what will it be today? Maybe something that'll help me counter her verbal attacks, now that she's linguistically invincible. So the usual, alright? Give me a second. I'll be right back. So he wants a spoken heart to counteract the talking. For this attack and defense. Bada bing, bada boom. This should make things easier for you. Oh. I can see it in his face. Is it that bad? Huh? No, silly. He likes it. You can clearly see it in the way his scarf is moving. Ah, I see. My deductive skills aren't that bad after all. You'd think you would teach me a thing or two sometime? Of course! Then we'll be a trio! The detective, her trusty assistant, and the curious apprentice. I like the sound of that. It's been a while since I've been an apprentice. I don't remember being asked if I wanted to be part of this.
But I couldn't have completed the quest without you. Also, being a detective's trusty assistant is an honorable duty. And I'm glad you came with me.
Of course. Couldn't let you walk headfirst into an open maw of a hungry T-Rex. Did you actually encounter a T-Rex in Zelford? No, don't be silly. Sorry, I tried to make a joke. I could tell.
I think it was kind of funny.
Let me show you how it's done. How do you ask a dinosaur if it wants a cup of tea? Beats me. T-Rex? I still have a lot to learn, it seems. But now, please, I'm dying to know what happened in Zoford. That was so awkward.
So, thanks to the golden feathers, we made it to Zoford in the blink of an eye.
I don't think I've ever felt that fast in my life.
It was like he had the zoomies. They helped us remain unseen too.
Thanks to your drink, we were able to sneak around the city without attracting too much attention.
But those ghosts were the clue we needed. I knew we'd find something at the docks, so we made our way there.
She was right. In the dead of night, just hours after we had left your tavern, we spotted a peculiar dog roaming near the water.
We watched it as we tried to sneak onto the cargo ship.
It behaved weird, undog-like.
It hid behind some barrels and kept looking left and right before I started to sneak on board. I'd never seen a dog do that before.
It looks like it didn't know how to be a dog. It didn't use its nose, its ears.
It was just off. We watched as one of the workers noticed the dog and scared it away. But my investigative senses were tingling. So we started asking around, as detectives do when they want to collect some evidence.
A few people say they also seen some animals with odd behaviors. Most of them thought they had some kind of illness like rabies. Or that they were spirits disguised in animal forms, sent by a sea witch. So they stayed away and minded their own business.
Not very high-class detective of them, but they made for fine witnesses.
Apparently there's something like a weekly get-together for all town's familiars. We decided to check it out. And?
We managed to track down a few of the participating familiars to get more insight. It was a little tricky since none of them wanted to talk to us at first. I think they were a bit wary of strangers.
It also seems to be difficult for familiars to speak to people when they don't know. Must have something to do with their magical abilities.
But with our combined charm and charisma, Aura and I were able to finally gain the trust of one of them. And they told us something strange. They said all those familiars that went missing seemed to have been in contact with one particular magician. So of course we had to pay that wizard a visit. Preferably when he wasn't at home.
I think that's called burglary. Finding out the address was child's play. Apparently, it was quite popular among the people of Zoford.
It just took Aura a little bit of well-executed bribery to find the mage's home.
Did you take some notes?
I did. Prepare yourself to be the next test subject, innkeeper.
I'm excited to see how much you've learned.
You'll be surprised. Flabbergasted. Gobsmacked.
Very well. Your drink really did wonders. Your drink really did wonders. We managed to break in without anyone noticing.
It was exciting. We snuck around looking for evidence, maybe a hidden ritualistic chamber or something like that.
And did you find one?
Sadly, no. But we found his office with the door open. Inside were a lot of books about different kinds of animals and familiars.
We figured he just loved animals, or at least needed that knowledge for something else.
As any world-class detective would, I also checked his trash can.
And did you find anything?
Well, nothing that helped to solve the case. But I did find something that you'd like between all that shredded paper. It looked like a recipe for a magical drink, just like the ones you serve. Ta-da!
That's very useful.
That's what I thought. Anyways, Aura and I continued our research for clues. His office also had books about common and uncommon diseases in animals, so we kind of had a connection to be reported cause of rabies.
I thought of it was a bit of a stretch. Not that I could change her mind.
That wasn't all we found. Next to his desk in a small cupboard were his diaries. They were full of notes and spells that I didn't understand.
Something about transmutational magic? While she studied his diaries, I rummaged through his belongings and scrolls. I had absolutely no clue what any of it meant until I found something of interest. Detailed instructions on how to unbind a familiar from their services.
A thought began to manifest itself in my brain, though I couldn't quite grasp it yet. But somehow, my instincts told me I had all the information I needed. I just had to stitch everything together.
Kind of like what I do when I assemble quests for my patrons.
Exactly. But right when I tried getting to it, we heard that front door squeak and creak as someone entered the house.
We tried to hide, of course, but
we hadn't been quick enough with our investigation. And definitely not subtle either. The whole place looked super chaotic. The wizard immediately knew something was off.
And a potentially dangerous person on high alert is even more dangerous. So we had to be on guard.
Aura hid under the table, but I had other plans. I managed to jump on the bookshelf and wedge myself right on top under the ceiling. I was hidden, but he could still see the whole room.
Good call. Or good call.
I watched as the magician barred in, but he wasn't alone. He was accompanied by a lizard, a colorful bird, and a two-headed sheep.
Oh no, not one of those again.
Huh?
It's nothing. Please continue.
It was so weird. The bird didn't know how to fly, the lizard walked on two legs, and the sheep's two heads always looked in the same direction. How to be real animals, just like the dog from the dogs. And now we had proof. The weird animals were definitely connected to the weird wizard. And as if the wizard noticed something, he stopped and said to the animals, "No, you three, get out of here. I don't want you to get in trouble or hurt."
I already had my fingers wrapped around the handle of my knife, ready to strike. I'm sure he felt my murderous intent.
It does sound like he cared about those animals. That's what I thought too. As soon as they left the room, I saw him create a ball of flames in his hand. He was ready to strike, and I knew I had to do something. He would have done horrible things to Aura. So I meowed.
Like a cat?
Uh-huh. I pretended to be a cat. And somehow it worked, even though I was wearing clothes. The wizard turned around and saw me on the top of the bookshelf. His features turned from worried to soft in a millisecond, and he said, "Oh, little rascal, how did you get in here? Did I lock you in? You must be terribly scared." And I was scared, but not for the reason he thought. So I just meowed a second time, as you do when you're pretending to be like a cat. And then he said very politely, "Would you please come down here? This room isn't a place for little cats, but I can offer you a cup of milk instead." And that was a very tempting offer, so as any cat would, I answered, "No, but I would like some chocolate milk."
Mel- Melly, you blew your cover.
I kinda forgot that cats don't usually speak. Needless to say, his face was priceless. But then his hand started to light up again.
I immediately knew she was in danger, so I broke every possible rule the Thieves Guild taught me and just hopped up from underneath the table. That was very brave of you. Don't know if it'd been so fearless. If I'd been so fearless. Well, I had to. The wizard turned around He was surprised, maybe even scared, but he was also ready to fire at me. I already saw my life flashing before my eyes.
And before I can even think about it, I yelled, "We know you don't mean any harm. You're just trying to protect those familiars, right?" Apparently, I hit a nerve. He stopped right in his tracks.
I took advantage of that moment and tried to explain why we were in his home in the first place. I told him everything about the quest, the familiars, the weird dog. Usually I'm not very good with words, but, well, your drink definitely did what it was supposed to. I don't know how, but I think we managed to de-escalate the situation. He looked panicked before that, as if he was being chased. Maybe he actually expected people to come after him.
Hearing all those clues out of Aura's mouth kind of flipped a switch in my brain. And I could see the truth right in front of me. Suddenly, everything made so much sense. I jumped down from the shelf and began my conclusion. It is clear to me that you, the accused, do not have ill intentions. However, it does not make you innocent. You're still involved in some disappearance of some familiars.
She was walking back and forth while she gave her speech. Needless to say, the wizard and I were equally confused.
You're fond of animals and as such also familiars. And while I don't know anything about magic, I have heard the term transmutational before. Who hasn't, honestly? It's a broadly used term.
That right there was a blatant lie.
So I, the world's greatest detective, have concluded. You are turning familiars into animals, or at least you're making them look like animals. You also were accompanied by some of those turned familiars, and you cared for their safety. That means they are here for their own free will. So by turning them into animals, you did them a favor. They wanted to be transmuted. But now their patrons and the other familiars can't reach them anymore. And they're worried about something bad happened to them. And that's why we're here. Case closed.
That's pretty impressive. That is actually impressive. That she kind of just figured that out. I guess we gotta trust her brain instinct. And I guess it's like an animal sanctuary too, no? Or familiar sanctuary. And you figured that all by yourself?
Yep. The magician was also impressed. I totally hit the nail on the head.
I explained again that we were just there to investigate, but that it was also necessary for the familiars and their friends and families to talk to each other. The remaining familiars wanted an explanation, as well as their former mages. The wizard already felt guilty for doing something behind their backs, of course. Turns out the familiar were unhappy in their dragon-like bodies and much preferred feeling like real animals. But they were afraid of telling their patrons and familiar friends, so none of their remaining acquaintances knew that happened. Of course, they expected the worst. Why else would your friends just leave you alone and disappear without a trace? Yeah.
But obviously none of them wanted to continue on like that, so we helped set up a meeting for them to talk it out.
It was a therapy session.
And they did. All the magicians were very understanding, if a little sad to lose their connection. The other familiars also welcomed them with open arms, even though they were a little confused at first. They needed a whole while to understand why their friends wanted to be animals. But I think they got it eventually.
So, all in all, it sounded like a very successful quest.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you got to uncover the truth.
Me too. The magician even decided to give us something in return for helping him.
Neither of us have any use for it, so we wanted you to have it.
Don't say that. That makes it sound like it's a bad gift. And it's not.
What is it then?
It's a ring of beast storing with a lost familiar inside of it.
We can have familiar.
He found it a while long ago, but its patron never showed up. We named it Renu.
Oh no, this is the abandoned Charmander scene. That episode made me cry. Melina can't take care of it, and I have my sheepfish, Rufus. But you have Andu, so you already know how to take care of a mini dragon. Oh, I absolutely do. I wouldn't have minded him staying an only child. He might enjoy some company. So thank you very much. I got an achievement. It's Renu. Obtain another familiar. Ooh, we're like a Pokemon trainer. I need to get back to Rufus now. He gets lonely without me sometimes.
Or is it that you get lonely without him?
He's my pet. I need to take care of him. Don't worry, I'm sure Fable did a good job. Though it's nice to see how much you care for your pet. He's been my only friend since my parents died a long time ago.
Oh. Were they also eaten by zombies?
No. They were burned alive.
Oh. Oh no.
I remember as if it were yesterday. It was late afternoon and my parents wanted to visit the adjacent village to buy some grain. But they never returned. I wanted to look for them. But when I got to the village, every house, every barn, and even the ground was ablaze. I heard yelling, people screaming in pain, pleading for help, and my parents were nowhere to be found. A few of the survivors confirmed they had seen them earlier that day, before the fire. I later found that the perpetrator was the apprentice son of the noble family. He had a disagreement with the farmer over some payments and instead paid a bunch of criminals to set the fire to his barn. But the fire spread uncontrollably and devoured everything in its path, including innocent lives, just like it did today.
That's awful. I'm sorry, Aura.
It's alright. I bottled all my emotions up and combined them into desire.
For her family?
For revenge.
Oh. But that sounds like a lonely desire, though. And you haven't found any friends since then?
No. The people in the Thieves Guild helped me survive, but they weren't particularly keen on friendship. So I just chose the lonely path that was meant for me.
That's not very nice of him. But now you have me.
And?
We're best friends now. And accomplices. And we found our own guild. Like a detectives guild.
No.
Give us a few more quests and we'll be the most famous detectives in all Fasoa.
I'm sure of that. Oh god, it's Hex. The one I wanted to punch. And a good mythical morning to you, Innkeeper. This time it's actually still morning. But that doesn't mean it also is morning somewhere else in the world as well. Of course not.
That's a really cute hat you're wearing. Thanks. Can I try it on sometime?
Only if you tell me your name.
A fellow mastery bribery, I see. But there's nothing more you could possibly teach me. A world-class detective like me doesn't need extra lessons in bribery.
So you're a detective?
Yes. The best detective in all of Fasoa, I might add. I'm Melina, by the way, but you can call me Melly.
Happy to make your acquaintance, Melly. I am Hexagon Hex, but you can call me Hex.
Like, by your last name?
No, Hex. As in short for Hexagon, obviously.
Ah.
And who is that grim-looking fellow next to you?
Oh, him? They look grouchy, but they're my world-class assistant.
Not by choice.
His name is Aura.
I'm sure it is, yes. Nice to meet you, Aura.
But I think you've gotten enough information out of me. Can I try on your hat now?
That's a tricky one. You see, this little star pendant on the tip of my hat,
Uh-huh.
it classifies me as a wizard of the primordial sea. A silver one, I might add. One of Leviathan's most trusted confidants.
Ooh.
And all of his knowledge is directly transmitted to anyone with a hat like mine. In particular, silver stars like me have access to information that, leaked to the masses, would break the order of this world.
Oh, wow.
But every silver star has to go through extensive mental training. Such amounts of knowledge would drive any mortal without proper training insane. No. So I can't let you try on a hat without endangering your life. I couldn't forget myself if I were the reason Fusawa's best detective went mad.
That is very honorable of you. But I, the great detective Melina, have concluded that you, Hexagon Hex, are nothing but a bad liar.
You're a great detective indeed.
I honestly thought you were pretty convincing, Hex.
Thank you.
Wait, did you actually believe him?
Of course not. I just happen to know a thing or two about the Primordial Sea. I've read a few books, heard some rumors. You know how it is. And I really doubt Leviathan would share his precious knowledge with a mere mortal. Nothing against you, Hex. You got me there.
I gotta say, you're really convincing.
I sure am.
Looks like even a great detective like me never stops learning.
Honestly, you could have just told me no, though. I wouldn't even reveal my name even without a promising magic hat on the line. But it's more fun this way.
I think honesty is also a very important skill to master.
Whatever you say, detective. But Hex, what brings you here today? Nothing really. I was just longing for another one of your drinks. You know, the kind that would flood my head with new ideas. Leave it to me. Okay. Hey, Andu, we have a new familiar now. I don't know if he's ever gonna come out though, that's the thing. So he wants... Ooh, the Silent Owl looks really cool. It's attack, intelligence, and speed too. But he just wants Sparkling Nebula. This is the nerd drink. Some charisma. Oh, it's 2 charisma. Sparkling Nebula, coming right up. There you go. This should do the trick. Huh. Let's see. Oh, I can already feel it. All the ideas, they're manifesting in my brain. Honestly, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess we'll have to find out.
Oh, can you maybe show me a magic trick? Just to test your abilities, I mean.
Well, yes, of course I can. I'm glad you asked. You know, I am a master of fire. Oh, that's kind of bad timing to bring that up.
Oh, then, can you also do fireballs?
I wouldn't call a fireball a mere magic trick. More like a fully fledged spell. But I can create 10 tiny flames on top of my fingertips.
Like cute little candles. I want to see that.
I would maybe advise you to play with fire outside. A lot of my ingredients are very flammable. You'll miss a big real show then. I think I'll somehow manage to survive. Your loss. Or are you coming as well? I'm good. Alright, Lone Wolf. You're missing out though. Certainly.
See you later.
Have fun. Yeah, fire isn't a very good topic to bring up, especially after we talked about something so sad. Oh, Sarah Lynn. Oh my god. Innkeep. Lynn, this quest up for taking? It sure is. Why else would it be hanging on the quest board? Who asked you, thief? Are you going all by yourself? Of course. I don't do groups. But it could be quite dangerous. Diria seems to be in a hotspot for danger at the moment. Do you want to come with me or what? If you so, spit it out, kid. No. Fine. There's nothing that this great sword can't cleave through by itself. Won't need much help. Cool. They always act like that, Innkeep? Depends on who's in the room. Ah, he likes that. I see how it is. You do? Yes, of course I do. You're like a dragon. You barely know me, so it's obvious that you're reserved as to not expose any weak spots. But sometimes you gotta find the fine line between being reserved and being a tad too edgy? That. Can you stop psychoanalyzing me? Yes. No. Great. Not like you're right with any of your assumptions. You could always enlighten us. I'll pass. But I wouldn't mind another drink. Same as always? Yes. Something, you know. Something for my aura. Gotcha. It's on the house this time. So he wants another spoken heart. Thanks. That's good. Enough. Splendid. Alright, moving on. What about you, Lin? I'd like to know more about the chasm skid that's the path to Didia. I mean, I haven't been there yet. Me neither, actually. Really? Do you think I'd never leave this tavern? Do you have any special insights that might be useful? Not so much about the situation in Diria itself, but bits and bobs I picked up over the last days. Enlighten me. As you might have read, travel to Diria has become a bit of a hazard. Collapsing bridges, disappearing animals, nervous diplomats. Sounds like a haven for bandits. Among other things. Either way, I'll get with that blue hood to Diria. Of course. How about a drink to aid with the undertaking? I thought you'd never ask. Any wishes? But I mean, this could go either way. Depends on what truly is going down in Diria. Timing might be more important. Being swift and smart about it. Evasion, that's what you call it. I might have a good infusion for that. The Feather of Golden Loon. A what? Oh, a rare waterfowl. Legend has it that the wind still resides in its feathers, which is why they lend you its speed. Ah, intriguing. Suppose it'd be good for evasion, if you had added something for the brains to it. Though I'd be dealing with a diplomat, so a little additional charisma to get me on his good side wouldn't hurt either. Definitely doable. Alternatively, be prepared for every possible situation. Something up to my defenses wouldn't be too bad. How do you feel about traveling under the blessings of the dragons? I'm all ears. With a little citra, your weapon strikes will be blessed, great against any bandits or bridges. That sounds something like my Baba would have chosen. Not that she should have needed it. If the situation really is that dangerous, something that giving me more protection would fit. If it comes to with enough strength to strike back, that is. But being able to evade the threat by being smart and fast about it might be better. You know what, Tinkeep? I'll leave the choice to you. You should know what you're doing. Let me think about it. I actually might need some time to think about this. Defenses, they could take the smart path because I already believe in Saraland being strong as it is, you know what I mean? I don't know if this is it, but this could be it. Let's let wits, wind, and some kind of words guide your way. Let's.
Where are you headed?
Oh my gosh, Rhea. I'm so glad that they're here. Diria, some diplomat clown is in need of aid. Needs some escortance of sorts. Or,
Hey, Inkeep. Is this the escort quest you've been offering?
yep.
Bugging crap. I've been meaning to take that one to earn a little bit of coin on the side.
Well, I've already committed to it.
And what if I tell ye that I wanted that quest?
Well, you ain't getting it. Simple.
Could he stop me?
Do you want me to try?
I'd love you to.
Come on now. Just go together.
Who asked ye?
Exactly. Your conversation is giving me a headache. The solution is as easy as it is efficient. Go together. One takes on the big bads, the other the small ones. Either way, you're better prepared for a fight. If it comes to it.
Listen, I'm looking to buy some materials for an important project. Material costs exploded ever since the stars fell. I wouldn't mind a side gig.
You look sturdy, like you could take a few blows. So, sure. Let's do it. Let's meet tonight at the crossroads to Themis. We'll leave from there.
Great.
I'll head to my room to start packing. And to take a nap. Those are effective after all, huh? Well, shush.
You're a brooding fella, aren't ye?
This is just who I am.
I met fellas like you before. You're all the same. Often you got the trust and heart's all gold.
Can we skip the sincerity? My headache is bad enough.
Oi, Innkeep.
Rhea?
Kyle keeps talking about fireworks. He's still oblivious about what actually happened. Luck's with the fools, they say.
For many, it'd be easier if it had just been fireworks.
He keeps blabbering about the letter.
Oh?
Have you opened it yet?
No.
Dreading what might be inside?
Just didn't have the time yet.
Suddenly your lines don't sound so empty anymore.
Don't think too hard about it. Oh, Tim again. Archie. Think about what? Nothing. Of course not. I didn't mean to pry or anything, even though I'm very curious by nature.
Good for you?
I would agree. That and Wanderlust is the reason why I decided to come here. To the Tavern to Zenith to adventure. Whoa. Thank you. I've come to inquire whether someone has already embarked on the quest to escort my dear friend to Diria. Very much so.
She's sitting right here.
Where? Oh, how rude of me. Of course. Hello, brave adventurer.
Rhea's enough.
Hello, brave Rhea. You are the one who's going to escort my dear friend? Along with Lynn?
That one.
Oh, Sarah Lynn, phenomenal. I'm beyond thrilled to learn that my dear friend is going to be in such a capable hands. Though, I've been wondering.
Come on, spit it out.
Could I perhaps join? It's totally alright if it's not, but this diplomat is very dear to me, and it feels like my duty to aid him.
Can you even fight?
Well, I can talk. Very well, in fact, I can fight with my words.
The wolves hate it. So, sure thing. Come along, lad. I'll show you some tricks. Leave at midnight.
Really? How exciting!
Come on, let's go.
Oh, how the turntables!
I think you mean the tables have turned.
Me? Going on a very dangerous and important quest instead of merely reading about it? Seems like you're on the right path for a hero's journey. Indeed! All the stories I have to tell when I return, Innkeeper. I can't wait. Farewell. See you soon. Goodbye. See you soon. I hope their quest goes well and they don't run into anything unexpected. What's on your mind? Are there any open quests left? There is one, but it involves social conflict resolution. Sure. Whatever. I'm taking this. Isn't it a bit too soon to go on another quest? You just got back. At least have a long rest, replenish some resources. I'm good. Are you sure? No, but who cares? I do. Don't. A bit too late for that, I'm afraid. I already paid you with a story today, so give me one of those quest drinks. Something with a little more violence. I don't think I'll be doing that. Fable! Yay! I'm glad she's here. Hiya, Innkeeper. Hiya, Fable. Hiya, Mal. Hi. Yeah. Never mind. Would you like a drink? Actually, I'm here for a quest. Archie told me there was still one left, and I wanted to ask if I could take it. Good question, Fable. I think Fable should take this one because as much as you're drinking social drinks right now, I don't think you need it, Aura. I see it's on me to answer it. Aura's thinking about taking the quest. Who's Aura? John. Malachite. That guy. Oh, nice name. Thank you. But if you're already taking it, I guess I'm too late. I hope you have fun. Why don't you two go together? That's exactly what's on my mind. Together? Is that allowed? Of course. Teamwork is as the adventuring world's bread and butter. Most heroic deeds are not done alone. Life would be very lonely that way. It would be, yes. So, you should go on this quest together. Combine your individual strengths to solve any problems better than you ever could alone. And you will get to know each other better in the process. It's a win-win. Aura, what do you think? Would you be okay with that? I guess. Would you? I think so. It sounds fun. Awesome. We meet the middle ground here where I don't have to pick. Cool. It's settled then. You'll go together. If I can ask, what exactly is the quest about? Archie only mentioned there was one. It's simple. Baya is worried because the Banshee of the Lonesome Lagoon and the Mary Morgan of the Ashland Grove aren't speaking to each other. She fears that the end of the relationship would also mean the end of their friendship with them. Baya is friends with the Mary Morgan? Best friends. Ah, so we need to talk to the Mary Morgan. And the Banshee. What an opportunity. I've always wanted to come face to face with the embodiment of sorrow. Don't you think that's a bit scary? No. You know what's scary? Failing relationships. Social fights are the most dangerous kind. I find them less scary than wrathful spirits. Seems like your fears will cancel each other out. I don't know enough about math to dispute that. Speaking of math, Ish, how do you two want to approach this? This is not an easy task, so we must be smart about it. Do you still have any of those fey crystals? The ones that make you fade into shadows entirely? Sure do. Good. I suggest you mix those with a hefty serving of intelligence. Then we turn invisible and come up with a clever ruse to make them fall for each other again without them ever knowing it was us. Do you just want to avoid social interaction? Maybe. Or maybe I just remember how well being invisible served me last time. Fair enough. I don't know. I feel like they should talk about their feelings. What if their feelings are they're never ever to want to talk to each other again? Then they should talk about that too. That's not the point of the quest. I think it is. We should face the problem head on instead of trying to find a way to avoid it. I think I could do another round with charisma for this one. And maybe... Innkeeper, Clay mentioned you have Thunder Sage? That will help us inspire other people, right? Correct. I'll admit it works a little differently for everyone, but I have no doubt you'll figure it out. Speaking of Clay, he wanted me to tell you that he and Tia will make it back in time for the barbecue. Really? That's amazing. Or you should come too. We're having a barbecue at the Whale Settlement on the 31st. It'll be fun, I think. I don't think so. Oh, alright. Have to get back to Rufus at some point. He'll need his wool cut. Speaking of Rufus, if you're here, Fable, where's the sheepfish?
Melina picked him up. She said she'd bring him home as she hasn't spent time with him. Melina picked him up. She said she'd bring him home so he has to spend less time alone.
Great.
Was that wrong? I told her exactly what kind of food to give him in case he gets hungry while they wait for you.
No, it's fine. He likes her. They're a good match. Anyway, we should hurry so you don't miss your barbecue.
You're right. Innkeeper, can you help us pick the right approach? Either invisible and intelligent or charismatic and inspiring. I trust your expertise.
Let me think about it. I think any problem to a relationship is communication. If you think about it, a lot of I'm no love doctor. I am not a licensed therapist. But I'm just saying is that a lot of relationships that kind of you turn the cold shoulder, or one point's not getting across, or you have to you just need the feeling of feeling right in that moment. It's you kind of just need to throw that away because it could end up destroying your relationship. Okay, maybe you're right or maybe you're wrong, but then in the long run, will it matter? Will it matter if you're right or wrong? I think it's just maybe if it's a subtle dispute that you two have a disagree to disagree, there's always a middle ground. I think there's always a middle ground. I mean, it's everyone has their different beliefs and opinions, you know? And that's what's beautiful about relationships. I know it sounds a bit corny, but at the same time, communication is key. Cheesy or not, lactose intolerant, if not, it's, just, you kind of just have to go with it. Communication, trust me, a lot of people are social. We're social, beings. So it just makes sense that you would communicate with your significant other or someone else you may have a similar problem with. Anyways, making drinks, a little advice from the Man of Pandalorian. It is just my 2 cents. Because yeah, you could do things invisible and not get involved, but then it's you kind of need the confrontation, right? Hey, look at what you guys are doing. You need someone to tell you, hey, there's something wrong. I think it has to be either Sunny Breeze or Peak Sunrise. I think it's Sunny Breeze. Because there's already 2 in that category, and it's 1 in Swift. Well, let's do that. Sunny Breeze? Coming right up. You do things the peaceful way. I think a direct approach is a better choice. It's a better choice. After all, honest communication is important, right? Would you say so? Very much so. And you?
I think honesty is the best approach to any situation, including this one.
Agreed.
I think the only question left is, where should we start?
The Ashen Grove is closer.
And you already know where to find the Mary Morgan.
You do?
Yes, I encountered her before.
So she'll remember you. Useful.
I hope not. Last time she tried to drown me.
Oh, I see.
It was pretty embarrassing.
I know the way to the Banshee too. It might be smarter to think with the one further away, working backwards and all.
That makes sense. Let's do that.
Good. But we should prepare first. The journey to Boreas won't be easy.
You're right. We should leave tomorrow morning.
We should. Wonderful. Glad to know that you'll actually rest between quests, Aura.
If I must. You went on a quest with Melly, right? How was it?
Fine. Reminded me of my parents.
Are they... well?
They're dead.
Ah.
Burned to death.
I'm sorry. That's horrible.
That's life.
It shouldn't be. How old were you when you lost them?
7. Oh wow, that must have been really scary. It was. Fine. It doesn't sound fine. When I was 7, I ran into a vine-spiked boar while searching for friendly rocks. It chased me through the forest for almost an entire hour. First, I thought I was going to die, then I was sure I was never going to step foot outside again. But when they found me crying, my family hugged me so tightly they dried up all my tears. And when I sat in my room frozen in fear, we danced and played board games until I forgot I was even scared. I can't imagine not having that. I can. It was. Please don't say it's fine. Scary. Really scary. I waited at my home by myself for 2 whole days. I thought the shadows were going to eat me at some point. And when I finally was brave enough to leave, it was too late. You know it wasn't your fault, right? I know I never want to feel that scared again. But it's fine, because I fixed it. Fixed it? How? By taking revenge on the who caused their death. A popular approach these days. Did that make you feel any better? Yeah, sure. It was just a natural part of my journey. Following the path of darkness. It's my destiny. Misery is nobody's destiny. He's right. You shouldn't confine yourself to sadness just because it was what you're used to. Besides, the innkeeper always says you can always choose your own destiny. And I decided our destiny is to bring these 2 lovebirds back together. At least for now. I think I need to go. Prepare for one of our treacherous journeys ahead. You should let Melina know you're leaving. She'll be worried senseless otherwise. Let her know you'll be back. I might not be. Don't be like your parents. Damn! Why would I throw it out there? Why did I say that? Whatever. Time to go. Don't be like your parents that died. Oh my gosh. You think I should go after them? I think sometimes we need a bit of time to feel our feelings by ourselves before we feel comfortable enough feeling them in front of other people. Preach. That's a no, right? Give him a moment. You'll have plenty of time to be there for him when they're trying to play matchmaker for the undead. Right, we had to do that. Which is fine. I'll be fine. The Mary Morgan probably doesn't even remember me. And if she does, I can just run. Or hide. Or cry. No matter what, you won't be alone. I can't tell how Aura afraid I am. It'd be so embarrassing. If you want to be there for him, you should also let him know you're scared. It's only fair. I don't want to burden them with my problems. Being a burden everyone once in a while is a part of the wonderful experience of being loved. Your friends appreciate it when you trust them enough to let them help you. Because when you care for people, you're willing to put in a little work to make them smile. But you already know all this, don't you? I do, but it's just so much harder to keep in mind when it comes to myself. I know, but you've been doing very well, Fable. Thank you, Innkeeper. It's all thanks to you. That isn't true. I've been trying to help you the best I can, but you're the one who actually has to change. And I'm proud of how far you've come. Let's call it teamwork then. Let's. Anytime. Can I stay for a little longer? I think I need a little bit more time before I can face my fears. Always, Fable. Thank you. Man, that was like a little heartfelt moment we had there. And it's nighttime too. I thought it'd be sundown. Sarah Lynn. Morning. It's not morning. Did I sleep for that long? No, it's still the same day. Ah, that makes more sense. Not morning, Elfie. Not morning. How did you sleep?
Not much. Think you're just making me restless. Archie said you're going on a quest? Yeah. Raya and I'll be escorting some rich to Didia. Be a little nicer, please. He's Archie's friend. Sorry. We'll be escorting some rich idiot to Didia. He's Archie's friend? I see. That's why he was so excited. Cause his friend is leaving? Must be really craving some peace and quiet. Oh no, he's excited because they got to travel together. What? He said he's coming along. Since the win. Rhea invited him. Great. Is it too late to back out? Yes, don't be a coward. No, would you like to? Ooh, I don't want to throw shade at her, but I'm just like, how bad could this be? Am I contradicting? Great, is it too late to back out? Yes, don't be a coward. No, would you like to? Yes, don't be a coward. Fine. But I'll need another drink. That would be rather difficult. I already gave you a drink tailored to your quest, and my booster shouldn't be mixed so irresponsibly right before an adventure. So I'm just supposed to deal with this headache myself? Yes. Very helpful. Thank you. You're welcome. Do you think something exciting will happen on your quest? We'll see. I've got a good feeling about it. You reckon I'm going to meet another guardian? Maybe. That would be fun, right? What kind would you meet this time? Not sure. I feel like I already met one when I was looking for. What could be greater than the trickery of Ivan and Mia? You're right. I think that means it's time to befriend the Realm Keepers now. Wouldn't that be something? Which one would you like to meet the most? Gaia. Can't think of a greater honor than that. You? Gaia as well, but I feel like I should pick someone else. For balance. Cassiopeia, maybe? I'd love to ask her how she's doing right now. Maybe give her a hug. You'd be the type to give the dragon a hug. What does that mean? That you're very lovely, I think. Well, something like that. So, fellow dragon enjoyer, would you pick? Who would you pick? No repeats. First dragon in the origin of everything, Tuat the great spirit dragon, Leviathan the serpent of the primordial sea. I think Tuat. He keeps the balance between life and death. Why might consider him the embodiment of order? He's so strict, no one alive may enter his realm and no one dead may leave. And yet there are countless trickster myths about his escapades within the mortal realm. I was about to say escape.
A way out. There's gotta be a way out.
Look, here's something. Escape.
I enjoy that duality. I hope the dead never get bored with him. That'd be nice. But I suspect your quest will have its merits even if you don't meet any of the Realm Keepers. That's true. I bet you and Rhea will have a lot to talk about, and you could teach Archie more about venturing. I'm not so sure about that one. You're a great teacher. I've learned so much from you already just by being your friend. Like how to say what I really mean. I'm still working on it, obviously, but I feel so much better when I'm being honest about what I want. You've been getting a lot better at it. Thank you. And Melly loves practicing with you too. She says she wants to ask Rhea to build her a great sword for her own. So a regular sized dagger? Yes. Teaching someone to hold the sword is one thing. Guts and bravery are something else. Not sure I can teach Archie something I'm still practicing myself. We can always practice together. Yeah. Speaking of practice, you're going on the quest too, Elfie? I am. Aura and I are going to fix the Banshee and the Mary Morgan's relationship. Is that the Stinky Twister's new name? It is. Aren't you scared of the Mary Morgan? Only a little. Okay, maybe a lotto. Do you think she's going to drown me? Do you think the Banshee will? Maybe they'll reunite through the teamwork of drowning me. Probably not. I think you'll probably find something more wacky as heck solution that no one in the person of the dragon kind would ever thought of. Like being kind or whatever. I'd like that. And if all else fails, you got an inside Ant Echo by his side to pull you out of the water. If he can swim. He's sane. Is he? Well, mostly I think he's sad, and sadness can make people feel a lot of intense things. Like fear or anger or nothing at all. Anything that isn't sadness. It's easy to lose yourself in that, but there's always a way out. If you're looking. You take that she-fish thing along? Maybe? I think he might let him stay with Melina so she isn't so alone. Or so he isn't at risk of losing him. Probably both. Not a bad idea. Would hate for her to be all alone while you two go chasing ghosts. Maybe we can send the Grace over to check up on her. Or Hex. No. Guess if you're going to with whatever the Drake's his name is, you'll finally be able to ask him what his cheesecake recipe. Cheesecake recipe? Melina mentioned he has a good one. I thought maybe he could show me how to make it. That sounds like a great idea. Ask him. You can use my kitchen if you want to. Really? That would be amazing. I'll ask him. Maybe. Andu will be waiting for you. On a completely different note, Lynn, what happened to those undead snails you wanted to check on? Well, they're slow, ain't they? Still got the little time to stick it around. So you say you'd like it here? It's not too bad here. Thought maybe I'd bring my cousin a souvenir. Hands off my trinkets. I ain't that aired Echo. I'll get her something from the market or the elf settlement. And maybe I'll bring you something back from her farm, Elfie. You mentioned you'd like to try planting some ghost berries. Either way, I'll stop by sooner or later. Don't risk her turning into a werewolf or a moving house. Ha. Ha ha. No, but seriously, if any one of my family members turn into a dragon forsaken werewolves, I'll be joining the Van Helsings. Still don't know if they kill werewolves. Don't care. Do you think I could come with you? When you go, I mean. I could gather the ghost berries myself. I know a lot about snails. You should. The snails will love you. Have to agree, you'll probably make it to a chaotic mess, but... a fun chaotic mess. Yeah. Seems like you guys did end up forming a party after all. Shut up. Okay. Anyway, it's late. I think I should go back to the settlement and catch some rest. Saralyn, do you want to come with? You can stop by the werewolf settlement and say hi to Mr. Dragon. Or bye. I'm sure I got tips for you in return, but I can't listen to your worry. Yeah, you're good at that. Do you want to come too, Innkeeper? I'm afraid Andu doesn't do well in civilization, or alone. Especially not alone. But I'll be eagerly waiting on your stories. We'll return with plenty. I'm counting on it. Good night, Lynn. Good night, Fable. Night. Good night. Feed Andu. That was a lot. That was definitely like a good amount. That we got some character development. We got a lot of missions going out, getting busy, and so it takes a minute for them to get occupied. So I guess we kind of just have to wait for the results to come back. And we're on chapter 13, the interlude. We'll go ahead and stop it for today's episode. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this episode of Tavern Talk and the previous episodes of Tavern Talk. I've been enjoying this game so far. And if you have a favorite character, let me know. If you had a favorite sequence of the story, let me know. Again, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll go ahead and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.